Hi, everybody. It's Tina from Tina's Messy Crafty Life. How are you? I hope you're good. I am here with some project shares I did over the weekend and the beginning of this week. And I believe I'm going to call this my vintage project share because I was really in the vintage mode. First thing I started doing, and I want to say I did this Saturday or Sunday evening. I did a live on this. So I altered this clock face. And what I did is I painted it ruby red, ruby rose, not ruby red. And I put the ruby down and I let it dry. And then I came back and I did black paint on top of the ruby rose. And I let it settle. And then I did a wipe with a paper toweling. And it just gave me that vintage old look. And then in this inside, I kept the clock face. Because it was vintage looking. And I left the clock handles in there. You can kind of see the one. And then I added some Tim Holtz ephemera in here. I got like Marketplace, a ticket. And I just did a little cluster background in there. Kind of see them. They look close. And then I have a bunch of Tim Holtz metal pieces that I got on clearance and at Tuesday morning. And it's been sitting here and I got this new idea. Use it or lose it. And I've been using my Tim Holtz stuff. Because I have a bad habit of hoarding his stuff. I'm going to realize I got fingerprints all over glass, so I'm going to clean it real quick so you guys can see clearer without the fingerprints. And that was a debate for me if I wanted to put the glass back in, not the glass back in. I decided to put the glass back in because I took this all apart. I do have a live video of me showing this. If you go back, you can see it. So let's talk about what's inside. I have some Tim Holtz metal pieces in there, like Machine Work Supply Company. I have a number up in the corner, a clock with some hands over here, one of Tim Holtz paper dolls. And these rulers that you're seeing, I find them at garage sales all the time. A lot of times they're in a 3-box. So I measured and I cut it in half. And so he is sitting on a ruler. And then I got one going across here. And you can see the light bulbs. Sorry about the light bulbs. I showed my husband this. He's like, "Where'd you get those light bulbs?" And I'm like, "They're Tim Holtz light bulbs." He goes, "Do they work?" And I'm like, "I have no clue." He thought I took them out of, he's like, "You didn't take them out of my basement room, did you?" Because he has like a tool room downstairs. And I'm like, "No." He's asked me that twice in 2 days. So on this ruler, because I couldn't get him to sit right, so I took my Dremel out and I Dremeled a little hole in each spot. And that's how I glued them in. So I got the light bulbs. And then I have this like fencing, I'm calling it. I cut it in half, cut on each end because I wanted this one in the center. So that looks in the center there. Kind of look like a gate. And then I have this number, 7891. I have some brads, and there's some metal in the side there. There's all sorts of stuff. And that's what that looks like. And it's a decor piece because my husband asks me all the time, "What is it?" And I'm like, "It's a decor piece." I was going to put this little bow here, and I put on my channel, I asked everybody if with the bow or without, and I got a lot without, so I left it off. So thank you for your input, guys. And then if on the edge, I went over with my fingertip with some of that ruby rose just to have that highlighted. And there we go. And I just painted the black on the back just to cover up the hot glue mess. But that is my vintage decor piece. The next thing I did was this. I had this little wooden little, looks like a little book. And it's wood. It's been tossing around my craft room for about probably 6-7 months. So I thought, I'm gonna do something with it. So I painted it ruby rose. I'm going with that. I love the ruby rose. I just love it. It's right here. This right here. It's a metallic royal ruby. I'm calling it ruby rose, and it's royal ruby. My bad. Come on, camera. Love it. Royal ruby. Royal ruby, not royal rose, royal ruby. And I did the same thing with black, and I just made this little cluster and some buttons and some eyelash trims, some wire mesh. This is a checker. Got this image, and this is those Tim Holtz images that come in strips. I just cut it out in a circle. Put love, got some lace here, there, an L for love up there as well. And it's just a little decor piece. Sits. The next one I did was Tim Holtz tins, trinket tins, he calls them. That's these. Look like this. You can't shut it anymore, but it's cute. Look, that's the cover. I didn't do anything on the outside, just did the inside. And I got his flowers, create, explore, got some gems, eyelash trim, did the background. You can see kind of in the background. And them are in the tins. And it just sits like this. And the next one I did is this one. It's the butterfly. Got some mesh, some eyelash trim, some pearls. Come through. It says grateful and beautiful. Look like that. Sits like this. I didn't do anything to the boxes on the outside. They look like that. So that is them. Plus, if you didn't see from the altered violins, I'll show them real quick as long as I got it going here with the vintage stuff. This is my vintage violin that I did. The mini violin. They're like this long, you can tell. And that's what this looks like. And here's the steampunk one. And then my altar projects I did this weekend and week. If you'd like to see how the steampunk violin was done, me and Sabrina, the Mismatched Crafter, did a live on that. There is a project share just of the violins. She did the Shabby Chic one. I did the steampunk one. I did this one on the live. And then I did the vintage one on my own, just so you could see 3 different concepts. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you like my vintage projects. I'm liking my clock. I like them all, but I really like how this turned out. And I like my book. They're going to be in my living room. These are pieces I'm actually keeping. These I haven't decided yet. But I have a tendency to make stuff and then sell it. And my husband really liked the clock. He goes, you're not selling it, are you? And I'm like, nope, this is mine for a keeper. And the only thing, as I said to Scott, if I was to redo this, and I still could, is I would have him drill a little hole in here on top, or get some twinkly lights that I could light the inside up with one of those little strand of lights. But I like how it looks. I'm happy with it. So I still could do that because I just can melt this. Just take your heat gun, it'll come right off, because I just got this glued with hot glue and add twinkly lights inside and put it back together. Because if you sit it up, it's kind of hard to see inside. So I may do that in the future, add some twinkly lights or one of those lights on top. Scott goes to take away from the top if I did that. So I'm thinking twinkly lights just a little bit inside. So I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, be happy, be kind, be safe, be funny, be crafty, and bye for now, everybody, and have a good evening.